So I just came from a Christmas party. It was a brunch that turned into a lunch into a dinner. But at the end of the night, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to take pictures. So I ended up going back. And when I went back, I was able to take pictures of some of her other guests that were there, including her parents. And I took the photographs and they all turned out very nicely. I made them pose, I made them do certain things that would, make sure the picture looked really good. And then her dad said, Michelle, you missed your calling. And I said, you know what? I didn't. What they don't know is that I'm using my creativity here on YouTube. I'm making sure to not miss my calling. I don't want to miss it. I started to feel dissatisfied with life altogether as I was thinking about the years and years that I worked for corporate America. I started to become resentful. Like, you're not going to use all of my brain power and all my energy, and then by the time that I can use my creativity, I'm just drained. So I had to make sure that I prioritize myself. I started to talk to a therapist and, explain some of the issues that I was having as far as not feeling satisfied. And she said, you know what, maybe you need to start looking into hobbies and things that you like to do. Go back to that part in your life when you felt most fulfilled. And when I felt most fulfilled was when I was able to be creative, when I was able to write, when I was able to just sit around and do puzzles or play Sudoku or Can, or like just things that would just make me think, but were also creative. Coloring, things like that. I would go to the craft store, buy canvases, and just do whatever I want with them as far as art is concerned. If I felt like using watercolors one day or oil or acrylic, whatever, I just did it, and it made me feel good to be creative. And then today, just taking photographs, that also brings me joy. I'm not missing out on my calling at all. I am prioritizing my calling. And that's something that we all need to do. We need to prioritize things that make us happy. Of course, we all have jobs or we all have other priorities that we have to account for. But we also have to make sure that we are prioritizing ourselves. And it took me a while to do that because I have young kids. I had to prioritize them. There's no explanation there. You got to prioritize your children, right? You're raising human beings. You got to make sure that they're safe and that they're taken care of. So that's something that I had put in the back burner as far as myself, my creativity. And I think that's where I started to lose who I was. And now I'm trying to move that back into the forefront and do things that make me happy. Because if mama's not happy, nobody's going to be happy. So I have to prioritize taking some time out. I have to prioritize doing things that help my creative self feel fulfilled. And if not, I'm going to get back and feel down and not happy with myself or unfulfilled. So when he said that I miss my calling, little do you know, I didn't. I'm not missing my calling. I'm not a photographer, but I'm a creative person, so I'm going to take nice pictures. It is what it is. Let me pat myself on the back. But yeah, are you missing your calling? Are there small steps that you can do that can get you to feel a little bit better each day, as opposed to feeling like you're drained from your job or life in general, because life is draining? But you want to take some time out if you can, little nuggets of time, and just find a space for you. Find a place where you can be yourself and think about your calling. What are some of the talents that you have that you pushed to the back burner and said, nobody's going to really like what I'm doing? What are some of those talents that you've had as a kid and people said, oh, you are so special with that? That's something that I can't do, but you can do it and you make it look so easy. What are some of those things that you can think about? It's so much for me. Like, there's so much. When I was younger, I'll say fifth grade, I had a journal, and I regret shredding my elementary school stuff, but I will never forget this journal entry where the teacher asked, and this is fifth grade, what do you want to be when you grow up? And my answer in the journal was, I want to be a hairdresser and I want to be a singer. Now, I am neither of those professionally. However, amateurly, if that's a word, I have done people's hair throughout my teenage years, throughout my college years. I feel like I wasn't a hairdresser at some point because they were coming to my apartment, getting their hair done, whatever style I chose to do throughout college. They were like, how did you do that? Let me come to you. I fulfilled that calling. I was a hairdresser, just not professionally, because I was natural in college. I was probably one of the first ones who I just shaved all my hair off. I was like, I'm done with these relaxers. I'm starting fresh. And people used to look at me so weirdly, like, where's your hair? I dyed it so many colors. I was just experimenting back in the early 2000s, late 90s. Am I aging myself? I am. But it was new back then. Like, oh my gosh, what's this style? I started to do twists. I started to do all these different things. And they were like, can you do that for me? Can you do my hair like that? I was a hairdresser. And then when I think about singing, when I was younger, my mom Audrey, I love you. She would say, Michelle, why are you so sing-songy? When I ask you a question, you don't need to answer me in a sing-songy way. But I wanted to be a singer. So even if it's just talking and I start to sound sing-songy, I'm a singer. But I also fulfilled that as far as singing in the studio, doing like background vocals. I've done singing in the choirs. So I was a singer. I fulfilled the calling that I had, and I'm always singing. If you look at some of my old videos, old as if I've been here this long, but you'll see that music just pops into my head and I will sing a song or I will rap it, whatever it is. I'm a singer, and that's just who I am. So I am not missing out on my calling. I'm not missing out on anything. And I just feel so good about it today. I'll say today. But give me maybe like a year ago, I was deep in my feelings. Not happy, not fulfilled, just... And I think it had a lot to do with the death of my father in 2022. It just started making me realize, like, okay, my dad is gone. What am I going to do with my life? Like I say all the time, death makes you think more about your own life. Like, what am I going to do before I pass? You know, you become more introspective. And so I guess that was the point where I started to really get deep into my feelings. Like, I lost the person who helped birth me, basically. And now he's gone. He was happy with a lot of things that he did in his life. He fulfilled a lot of his calling. He also was a singer. We sang in the choir together. And so when I think about callings, we want to make sure that we are doing the things that make us happy. Right? You want to be happy, right? I know you do. I just wanted to bring that up since that was so fresh in my mind and it just happened like within the hour. So I wanted to record this really quickly. Make sure you're not missing your calling. And if your calling is on these YouTube streets and you want to keep it a secret, keep it a secret. When it's time to reveal the great reveal, it will be done. But as of now, keep it a secret. And then if you have hobbies and things that you want to work on, find a class, find a community outside of here that may also be doing the similar things that you want to do. Follow your dreams. Don't miss your calling. And thank you so much for being here and letting me share that with you. I appreciate you so much. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.